everyone, and welcome to Dark Magical Gaming. I am Mike, your host, and this week we are back with a new deck profile. As you know, if you watch the end of the Dark Magician journey, the finale, all the way to the very end, to the after credit scene, you would know that the next deck that I was going to start working on playing was going to be Phantom Knights. I can say that there are going to be more videos focused around Dark Magician coming up after the release of the 2021 Megatins. I do feel like at the moment that I have kind of plateaued with the deck. There's nothing that new that I can really try until the field spell comes out. So towards the end of the month this month, as well as throughout the rest of October, look for a lot of Dark Magician videos of me trying out the field spell, new things playing. I'll be playing in the deck, such as that of cards like the Despia cards, Shadal, Ready Fusion, things of that sort. So after the release of the 10s, I'm going to go back to creating Dark Magician content. You can also look for some Dark Magician videos coming in the next few weeks, where I'm going to be talking about how I feel about the new support, new tech cards that you can play in the deck going forward, and just an overall view of the direction that I think that the deck is going to go in once we get the cards out of Battles of Chaos and the 2021 Megatins. So definitely haven't given up on Dark Magician, just trying out a little bit, something a little bit different here for a little while, and it is almost time for Halloween and spooky season, and what better of a deck to be playing than Phantom Knights. So there's one change I've made for this deck profile that I did not play today, and that is the third copy of Forbidden Droplet. The build I played today only played two because I was borrowing my friends, as my playset is currently sitting in the next town, an hour and a half away, and didn't make it here for this weekend. So that is the only change. This is 48 cards. I will leave it at 48. I played 47 today, so that's the only change that I will make going forward. Okay, so starting things off, we have 3 copies of Ash Blossom and Joyous Spring. Never really saw this card today. I used it one time to start combo with Ash and Kagamucha Knight. We have 1 Seer, Malabranch of the Burning Abyss, 1 Danger Jackalope, and 1 Danger Tsuchinoko, 1 copy of Edgemp Sabers, 1 copy of Graf Malabranch of the Burning Abyss, 3 copies of Junk Ford. If you look closely, you'll notice that this deck is playing the Isolde Two Tales of the Noble Knights package, and we'll get more into that explanation soon. Only 2 copies of Kagamucha Knight, 1 copy of Neospatial Aqua Dolphin, 3 Psychic Tracker, Double Psychic Wielder, 2 copies of the Phantom Knights of Ancient Cloak, 1 copy of the Phantom Knights of Ragged Gloves, 2 copies of the Phantom Knights of Silent Boots, and 3 copies of the Phantom Knights of Torn Scales. Moving right along, we have 3 copies of Tour Guide from the Underworld, 1 Dark Magician, and 1 Red Eyes Black Dragon, 1 Anonymous Action Unit, 1 Called by the Grave, 1 DDR, Different Dimension Reincarnation, 1 Divine Sword Phoenix Blade, 1 Emergency Teleport, triple copies of Forbidden Droplet, 1 copy of Living Fossil, 1 Red Eyes Fusion, 1 Reinforcement of the Army, 3 copies of Phantom Knights Fogblade, 1 copy of Phantom Knights Wing, and 1 copy of the Phantom Knights of Shade Brigadine. Side deck, we have 3 copies of Ghost Sister and Spooky Dogwood, 3 copies of Skullmeister, 1 copy of Harpy's Feather Duster, double copies of Anti-Spell Fragrance, 3 copies of Evenly Matched, 2 copies of Gozen Match, and 1 copy of Imperial Order. Moving into the extra deck, we have 1 Red Eyes Dark Dragoon, double copies of Levier the Sea Dragon, 1 copy of number F0, Utopic Draco Future, 1 copy of number F0, Utopic Future, 1 copy of the Phantom Knights of Breaksword, 1 copy of Appaloosa, Bow of the Goddess, 2 copies of Cherubini, Ebon Angel of the Burning Abyss, 1 copy of Isolde, 2 Tales of the Noble Knights, 1 copy of Nightmare Unicorn, 1 Link Spider, 1 Predaplant Verde Anaconda, 1 The Phantom Knights of Rusty Bardich, and 1 Underworld Goddess of the Closed World. So, going from playing Dark Magician to this is definitely a massive change of speed. This deck can play through a lot of different hand traps. It can play through a lot of different situations. This is actually my friend, pardon me if I butcher your name, Lucas Rivoli, I do believe is how you pronounce his last name. He is in the Phantom Knights group on Facebook, and I pretty much wanted to try out his build, as it's so much different from the standard builds. This card right here alone pretty much sold me on this build of this deck. Like, pretty much any 2 level 3s is going to get you into full combo, just like regular Phantom Knights, except you're going to end up using Isolde to search out a copy of something like Junk Ford is normally what I search. It's just a throwaway card you're going to discard. And you're going to summon like Neospace and Aqua Dolphin, be able to take some cards out of their hand. You can also loop this guy because of Leviair and Divine Sword Phoenix Blade. And the amount of games I've won with Phoenix Blade just being a reoccurring discard outlet has just sold me entirely on the Isolde package. So, Lucas, I don't know if you pioneered this build or not. Shout outs to whoever did. It is absolutely phenomenal. Never really used Edge Imp Sabers today. It is there as a level 3 that you can tour guide from the Underworld into. It is reoccurring, which is nice. Junk Forward was so free every time it came up. Loved this card. Loved my good friend Neospace and Aqua Dolphin. And this is where the deck is a lot different. So a lot of times people only play like one tracker and one wheel eater. And the best way I can figure out why this is good is because it's an extender that's not summoned through a card effect. So like I was testing out Super Hippo Carnival, which is very susceptible to the likes of Ash and Ghost Spell, and it's going to get you to the exact same place. You need a level 3 monster. So maxing out on this, and I really don't know what the difference is between playing like 3 of this versus 3 of this, if there really is any difference. I guess this guy has more attack. That might could be relevant. But I mean, I feel like you could play 3 or 2 of either one of these, or 3 if you wanted to really have those extra extenders. Double Ancient Cloak. Don't forget this guy has an effect to boost a dark monster. 1 Ragged Gloves in tangent with the Fog Blades and the Wings. The Wings is mainly used as an additional extender, so you can use like Fog Blade and Wings in the same turn to be able to keep reviving back everything. There's not a lot of explanation here. I think Tour Guide is too strong not to use. I mean, she rarely ever resolves unless you have her partner in crime, Kagamucha Knight, and even then she's still susceptible to Valor and Impermanence. But she is just way too strong. When this does resolve, you can get a lot further because then you don't have to use your Cherubini to dump the Graph because you're immediately going to have access to it. Dark Magician and Red Eyes. I'll be fair with you, I actually hate playing this package in this deck. I've played Dark Magician for so long, I just feel like Dragoon only belongs in that deck. It just feels wrong. But your deck does need an Omni Negate, because you can put up several monster negates on turn 1, but you would lose to just a single Lightning Storm or Regeki. So I guess as long as this is legal, we'll continue playing this. I do have plans to experiment with Artifact Dogda and Artifact Scythe going forward, if something happens to this package. Then the equip spells, you just play the 4 best equip spells. Action Unit combo as well with Tour Guide. You go Tour Guide for effect, they ash you, and you use Action Unit to take their ash out of their graveyard, and you go full combo there. DDR is one of the these are the ones that you'd actually like really enjoy seeing, because like you never really want to draw this card. It's very good to have access to it when you send it from deck, but you never really want to open this card. The 300 attack comes up sometimes, but it's not very relevant. But this card can actually get you out of some really tight situations. And then Living Fossil. I think I've only activated these 2. I don't think I've gotten the chance to really activate these 2 yet. Normally they just got discarded. Then E-Telly, because you play a lot of Psychic targets. And Droplets is literally just such a great card for this deck. I haven't owned a set of this card, but I enjoy this deck so much I went ahead and got a set. I know it's getting reprinted, but I really don't think you can play this deck without Droplet. If you do decide that you want to play this deck and you don't have access to Forbidden Droplet, the next best card I think you could probably play is triple copies of Forbidden Chalice. I don't like Impermanence because it conflicts too much with Shade Brigadine, and Brigadine is a big part of your combo with Isolde now. It's pretty much your standard 2 level 3 combo, gets you into Isolde, which gets you into a Search, which gets you into Phoenix Blade rotation, and into Aqua Dolphin looping their hand. So, side deck, this is the theory that I talked with Lucas of, is the combos for your deck are so intricate and they take so long. Most of the time you're going to end up going into time. So at worst, this card's a level 3, but you can get away with a lot of easy wins with Spooky Dogwood because of the amount of time the combos take to actually go through everything. Especially if they have multiple interruptions, multiple hand traps. I haven't gotten the chance to win with this card yet. I've sided it in a few times. I didn't end up seeing it. But I'm going to keep trying it out because I do like the theory behind this. I have 3 copies of Skullmeister. This card kind of, to me, seems like it's underperformed for me. I might end up changing this. And then we have Duster, which is our back row removal, along with 3 Even Lease. Then we get into Floodgates, the 2 Anti-Spell, 2 Gozen, and Imperial Order. So going first in games 2 and 3, one of the main cards you're going to lose to is Nibiru. You have no in-engine way to be able to really stop Nibiru. There's a combo where you can get to Apollosa on the 6th summon, but still. So my theory with this was that I would just, whenever I'd go first, I would just summon any 2 monsters and go straight into Verde, into Dragoon, and set floodgates. That way, when it comes back to my turn, because I'll still have pretty much a full hand, when it comes back to my turn, I can play freely because I'm not really going to need to activate any of these spells to be able to really play. So that's my theory here. I just picked what I thought was the best ones, the ones that hindered you the least. You do have to be careful with Gozen. With Gozen match. It can backfire some. I don't know if I'll end up keeping it, but the anti-spells and the IO 100% will stay in here. Chaos Goddess never came out today, unfortunately. I do think that she is very strong, and I think that I will continue to play her going forward. As far as everything else is basically pretty standard. You'll notice that this build does not play the rank up spells, and I actually really like being able to just in-engine make Utopic Draco Future. He's not quite as broken as what's that card's name? Rebellion Dragon? I can't remember his name. The rank 5 that you rank up into, because he can detach multiple times. This guy only detaches 1, but it is 1 less brick that you have to play in the deck. And for me, those cards still haven't really come up that much whenever I was playing the rank up builds. So I've really learned to like Utopic Draco. I might end up going back to the rank up cards in addition to this if something ends up happening to this package, because then we'll have 2 extra deck slots open that we currently don't have. I'm trying to think of any closing statements. Obviously, the Link Spider, if you're new here, is for the Brigadine, so you can turn it into an effect monster for Verde. But all in all, I mean, I really did enjoy this deck. Here's a rundown of what I played against. Round 1, I played against my friend Logan, who was playing Zodiac Tri-Brigade. Managed to take that match 2-1. He was joking with me all day about how I won because he wasn't playing Sky Striker this week, and I ended up losing to him in the finals, or not in the finals, the semi-finals last week when he was playing Sky Striker. Got my revenge this week. Round 2, I played against my friend Tanya. She was also playing Tri-Brigade. Tanya is a new player to the game, and she hasn't learned all of the really fine interactions. She was definitely probably my closest match of the day. There were a couple little things that she's still learning on. I would definitely say that she was the closest to winning today. The other ones were also the other ones were very close games as well, but this was the one that really had me sweating the most. And then going into round 3, I played against my friend Steven Outley playing Virtual World. Always hate playing against Virtual World, especially when it's piloted by Steve. Steve's probably one of the best Virtual World players that I know. He ended up gaming me in game 2 with the Utopia Beyond combo with just a lot of damage. So shouts to you, man. Always a pleasure playing against you. Going into round 4, I played against my friend Corey, who was playing Drytron. I still haven't gotten enough experience playing against this deck yet to really know what to let go through and what to stop. There are a couple of Drytron players at my locals. Never really seem like I get paired up against them. They don't really get to come to the shop to play test on the same nights that I do. So definitely need to put in the time to start playing on Dueling Book more and learn that matchup a little bit better, because game 1 he kind of messed up his combo a little bit, so that cost him game 1. Game 2, he puts up a crazy field. I mean, this man has like Dragoon. I think he either had Ultimateness or Perfection. I can't remember who was playing both. He was definitely playing Perfection. I'm pretty sure it was Herald of Perfection, on top of having Lancia in his hand and like double Herald of Orange Light. So that game wasn't going anywhere. And then I ended up taking it home in game 3. And then in the finals, I played against my friend Austin, who is piloting Necro's Dogmatica, which is the same deck that I went undefeated with a few weeks ago. Always love playing against Austin as well. Deck is definitely nothing to laugh about. Unicorn is a very good card, and top that off with cards like Nadir Servant, White Knight of Dogmatica. Being able to rip things out of your extra deck is crazy. So yet another successful week at locals. We did take home some knowledge that I really want to take into consideration, especially taking into account that this Saturday there is another case tournament, and I think that I'm going to be piloting Phantom Knights this weekend. So that's all I have for everyone today. I hope that you enjoyed this deck profile. I know it's definitely a change of speed for what I have been playing. Don't be disappointed though, Dark Magician is coming back. I just wanted to branch out my knowledge and try out some different things, try out a different deck, expand my knowledge upon some things, and just play a deck that was just really, really combo eccentric and just really fun to play. Dark Magician is still my favorite deck. I still am playing it. I'm still testing it every single day, trying out the new support, trying out new tech cards, anything. So I'm hopeful that when the support comes out in February, we will have the deck 100% down pat. I am talking to Loza, which if you haven't watched him, please go subscribe to his channel. Loza, all caps, no spaces. You'll find his channel. He does a lot of Dark Magician support himself. Great guy. I'd love to theorize with this guy. Can't wait to see what he does with the deck as well. So if you have any questions, comments, or concerns, please leave a comment down below. And I try to respond to all my comments as soon as possible and get back to everyone with any kind of questions they would have. So until next time, this is Mike from Dark Magical Gaming signing off. Stay spooky, everyone.